Hi everyone, I'm Laara from Light Coast by Laara. I am the Tigress of the Light, and this is a series called Peacock Wisdom, Moving into the Fifth Dimension. This is where we channel some information from Spirit and then channel a light code to help us assimilate and integrate the information that Spirit is providing us. Today's topic is about anchoring in the light. Being a light worker, we know that our mission is about anchoring in the light. We've probably got that figured out, right? You probably have done some of the fun quizzes online trying to determine whether you're a light worker or not, and it's led you maybe to this video. If you're watching this video, you're a light worker. Congratulations. The reality is that a lot of people, most people are light workers. We are all light. We are all energy. And it's just whether or not we are aligning to the mission of bringing in more light. So if you have an interest in spirituality, if you have an interest in being a light worker, then this means that you are being directed to know the information necessary that's actually going to increase the vibration of this planet, to relieve pain and suffering, to bring in the information that's needed, and to make this world actually a better place. So where we're all heading right now is hopefully to the golden age, but we all have a lot of work to do in order to get there. We all are burdened with quite a lot of energies that are dysfunctional, that cause pain and suffering, that are creating this victimhood mentality, that are disempowering us all the time. That's what healing is really about. It's about reclaiming our power, reclaiming our authority, and realizing that we are actually this amazing, amazing being of light that is full of love, full of compassion, full of forgiveness for ourselves and for everyone. But we need to really, at this time, this is a critical time, which is why you're seeing so many people speaking out right now about energy and light workers and such. It's a critical time that we stay focused on our mission to bring forward and anchor in the light so that this planet can evolve and advance, so humanity can heal and can move on from all the dysfunctional energies, from all the dysfunctional patterns, from survival mode into thriving mode. So the question is, what are you doing to support it? Because ultimately, being a light worker means that we need to take responsibility for ourselves. So that means, what are we doing as individuals? What are you doing specifically that is raising the vibration of this planet? Now, fortunately, there's a lot of things that we can do, but ultimately it comes back to just the simplest thing, which is being mindful, being conscious of our life. And that's actually a really big task. So how do we be conscious of our life? Well, it's things like, what are we consuming? Consuming physically, consuming mentally, consuming emotionally, consuming spiritually. So physically, what are you eating? What kind of foods are you eating? Are they toxic? Are they nourishing? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you need to be a raw vegan to have a high vibrational body. That is not entirely true. Definitely eating high vibe foods, which are typically raw with their nutrients intact, is beneficial, but it's not for everyone, and we need to honor everyone's own unique bodies and systems and what resonates best for them. So finding foods that resonate best for you and actually paying attention, how does my body respond to this? And if you are going healthy for the first time in your life and you start feeling sick, don't kick out healthy foods saying, oh, that makes me feel sick, because most likely you're going through a detox process, which can make you feel sick. What are you reading? That's another thing. That's another consumption. What are you listening to? What are you watching on TV? What movies are you watching? What are you watching on Netflix? This stuff matters. It matters because how do you feel when you watch this stuff? How do you feel when you listen to this stuff? How do you feel when you interact with this stuff? Is it making you happy? Is it giving you a lightness? Is it making you feel tight? Is it giving you lower energy? These are the things that we need to pay attention to constantly. It matters. The more lightness that we feel within our being, that literally translates to more light. more light within our being. If we're feeling heavy and closed off and upset and not bothered and triggered and just not feeling good, that is lower vibrational energies. That's the energy now that we're holding within our body. So what are we going to do, guys? What do you want to do? Are you going to take responsibility and pay attention to what you're consuming? Or are you just going to be blind and say that's someone else's job, or I want to watch it anyway? So this is how we bring this high vibration into daily life, okay? Is by being mindful, is by being conscious. So we can do practices, of course, that help raise our vibration, even regardless of what's going on in our current personal world. So things like yoga or Tai Chi or various other movement practices, things like meditation, and there's a whole slew of meditations, breathing practices, even things that are working with your hands. Do you know when you're knitting or crocheting or coloring or all those sort of things, you're going into a meditative zone. This all counts. This is all feeding your soul. So any activity that you really love, that feeds you, that you would connect to feeding you, this is going to be raising your vibration. It's a good thing, and definitely something that you should continue and even have more of in your daily life. Definitely being out in wilderness settings. So if you're close to an ocean, please go to the ocean. Please walk around the beach. Please watch the sunset or the sunrise. There's so much incredible energy that you can get from watching the sunset or sunrise. There's a reason why humans love watching sunsets and sunrises, because we are getting fed by the sun on the smallest molecular scale, okay? There's a whole practice called sun gazing, and it is incredibly grounding, incredibly nourishing energetically. And of course, you need to do it very carefully, and I would suggest you look up how to do it properly and do your own research. But personally, I've found it very nourishing and grounding, and I love being in the presence of the sunrise and sunset. A lot of light workers kind of get caught up in, let's get multidimensional. Like, let's talk about the really cool stuff. And you know, I love multidimensional things too, okay? Like, don't trust me. My favorite, I love to astral travel. I love to go into the most amazing meditative spaces. You know, I'm the developer of Fractal Line Healing. If you haven't seen what Fractal Line Healing is all about, please go check it out. If you're into multi-dimension, you're going to love this meditation, and I've only put out this much. There's so much more to come on that, but it is super, super high vibe. It fills you up. It's very healing, very nourishing. There's all these incredible things that you can do in these spaces. You know, other things that are multidimensional are, you know, light language. I love light language and light codes, and have, you know, written the little book of light codes and love to work with light codes. You know, talking with guidance and other star beings this is where you can get some incredible downloads. But you know, sometimes that's not available to everyone. We need to find what we are in alignment with. And if you're new to this or are just open to exploring different things, just pay attention to what comes to you and try not to force it, and try not to be too eager. It's good to be eager, it's good to be excited, but allow the process to happen. You know, it's something that we can feel quite ambitious, and it is a good thing. But it's good to take your time, and it's good to let it unfold. And when we pressure things too much, we can actually slow it down. We can slow the arrival of some of the things that we are just itching to get our claws into. You know, we're so excited about it. So please take a deep breath and appreciate wherever it is that you are along your journey. Wherever you are is where you are meant to be at every single moment of your existence. And remember that there really is no time and space. So you are everything already. You are just living out a momentary existence in this particular time, in this particular realm, in this particular dimension. in this particular moment. You are where you are right now. And if we can tap into the gratitude and the energy that is in this particular moment of time, in this right where you are, this is where the keys to so much live. So if we're going to get multidimensional in whatever way that you connect to these dimensions, make sure you bring it back. So you must get yourself a grounding practice. You must, okay? Too many people are going out and not bringing things back. So first we need to realize that we're humans and that it's okay to be human and it's good to be human, and we are here serving a purpose and we have a job and it's very important. And whatever it is that we're doing out here must come back so that we can share it then with the planet and with one another. I have a video on grounding. Please check it out on my YouTube channel. Okay, so now we are going to channel a light code to help us integrate these messages. I like to use my iPad Pro. We're going to use Procreate. We have a black background and kind of a goldish color. We're going to use a light pen, and the topic is anchoring in the light. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have a very anchoring V shape here. It's almost like a funnel, and it's actually as if the circle, the bigger circle at kind of the base of the V, I can see that as two things. It can be the planet, or it can be actually our expression of our individual selves. So it's like you have all these big, beams of light swirling down and coming down into this V. It's all being funneled in and then being captured. And then you can also see that the circle, whether that's the earth or that's an individual, is also expressing the light back into the universe. The funnel is very, very anchoring. We can see these energies just being totally drawn into the space. You could also interpret it as the entire light code is an individual person and or being, and all this energy is just coming right down into it, right down. I'm glad I've tried to pick gold. I feel like the gold is a really appropriate color for this light code. It's nice when you can do them in color. Yeah, so I would just suggest that you sit with this light code and meditate on the energies that it's bringing in and sharing with us. There are a lot of different interpretations here, so just sit with it. Maybe you have your own interpretation that's different from what I've spoken of. That is totally fine, wonderful in fact. Just sit, and I encourage you when you look upon a light code to do some deep breathing. Maybe focus on your heart space, focus on your feet. Remember, we're always trying to anchor information, anchor light. So we do that. One of the best ways to do that is by focusing our feet and remembering that we have legs, because many of us are walking around not even hardly connected to our legs. So breathing exercises that include connecting ourselves to our feet and to our legs, like in the grounding practice that I provided in an earlier video. Doing those kind of practices before and during looking upon these light codes can be very, very helpful. And just allow whatever the energy is, whatever the sensation, whatever it is that comes up for you, allow it to come up for you and be within you, and take what you like and release what you don't like. Release what isn't fully necessary for you. No one knows but you. So ultimately, your intuition is going to be your greatest guide. And that's all part of anchoring in the light. We need to focus on our own journey, on our own path, on our own heart's desires, and not the little ego desires, but the heart's desires, because the heart is connected to the higher self. It's like I always say, to have access to your heart is to have access to your soul. And so when we can feel into our heart space, and even if it's blocked, even if you're someone who's really working on opening our hearts, because most of us, let's face it, okay, most of us are working on opening our hearts more and more and more. The more that we can do that, the greater consciousness we can allow to come through. And this is the job of the light worker. Bring all this energy through and anchor it onto this planet for the greater good. And it can be helpful to use the light codes. So thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. And remember, if you have your own copy of the Little Book of Light Codes, 52 Healing Symbols of Light that were channeled by me, very, very special book. Remember, when you get that book, to please write a review so that other people can find it. It's very wonderful if you can share a review. And if you would like your own personalized light code, please shoot me a message. Check out my website. You can find all the details there for light codes, frequency pictures, and also distance healing, which is amazing and super powerful and really, really helpful for a variety of things. So all blessings. I wish you the most amazing week ever.